Hey everyone, I am here on location in MagicCon Vegas, and with me is...
Kaja Foglio.
Phil Folio.
And we've got an interesting question for you. Maybe you've heard this one before.
Uh-oh.
So there's this card, I'm not sure if you've ever seen it before. It's called Mishra's Workshop. And what it does is you can pay 1 mana and it turns into a 2/2 creature, but you can also tap it and it gives +1/+1 to an assembly worker creature, which is what creature type it has when it's animated. Could you block a 3/3 creature with Mishra's Workshop, tap it to buff itself, and then trade with that 3/3?
Wait, you're asking me about how the card plays?
Yeah. Don't worry, it's an easy question.
I didn't even catch what you just said. Yeah.
What do you think?
I
Yes or
painted
no?
a picture 30 years ago.
What do you think? Do you think it should work? Do you think you should be able to trade with a bigger creature?
Sure, why not?
We got one yes and one no, and
Yeah.
that's exactly the correct answer.
know.
It is exactly the correct answer, because there was a point in Magic's history when the answer was yes and a point when the answer was no.
Wow.
Yeah, that ruling actually changed. It used to be that if you were tapped, you did not deal any combat damage, so you would not be able to damage the enemy creature, but they changed that rule several years ago.
Wow.
So regarding the actual art piece of it, which piece do you think is like? Have you seen any of the other artworks for Mishra's Factory?
No.
Yeah, they've done like reprints of it a few times
Yeah.
in the modern era that has different artworks, but
Well,
it's always
I should
been
hope
the
so, because when they gave it to us, they called it was Urza's Factory.
yeah. You know,
Yeah.
there's actually a card named Urza's Factory now.
I'm not surprised. There was when I painted it.
Yeah,
too,
and
but
I'm not-
we changed it. It came out, and suddenly it was like, oh, Mishra, and all they told us was, well, Mishra is the evil brother.
Yeah.
Urza is the nice brother.
Yeah.
But we didn't know what they looked like. We didn't know who they were. We didn't know anything about it.
So what did you do to make the factory? Like, you know, how did you know what it should look like?
We didn't. We just drew something.
Well, I mean, like, you had ideas that you used to come up with that stuff, right?
We just drew something. I mean, and like I said, they were like, well, he's a nice wizard.
Okay.
He's a nice wizard. I've seen pictures.
Are you sure they didn't say he's an ice wizard? Because
No,
it's like, you know,
they
it's the winter theming on the
They were just
the
like, well,
artwork.
one's the good brother and one's the evil brother. It was all
Yeah.
very simplistic, and there wasn't a lot of, well, if there was a lot of lore, they weren't telling us.
That's very cool. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to ask about that card in particular is because I think with your art style in particular, one of the things that really stood out to me is the character design. And like your art style for drawing characters in particular is very unique compared to a lot of other Magic artists. But the factory does not have any like humanoid or other characters in it. Is that an intentional choice because it's a factory, or is there?
I don't know, probably. I mean, again, they were like, paint a factory for a nice wizard, and so we painted a Keebler tree. Like, I'm not really. That's not my proudest moment, really.
Well, you know, if it makes you feel better, I really like that artwork.
Good, I'm
And it's one of the like cards that I think you're the most famous for. So it was on a
That's
a
certainly
good.
true. We had somebody from Denmark come by yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And one of their artists in Denmark had done painting like right on the cards. They had touched it up, and they made them so much better.
Oh,
So
you know, I've
good.
hered about people doing stuff
Yeah,
like that.
it was
before.
so good. I took a picture. I wish I could remember the name of the artist so I could give him a shout out.
Oh yeah.
but
Well, maybe we'll be
yeah,
able to find a picture of it.
They were
for-
really good. Yeah.
So any other like fun stories that you'd like to share from like that piece or something else?
We keep joking that we need to do a reenactment of the
Oh, yeah?
painting of that, because people keep asking us, there's 4 of these paintings. How did you do that? Who did what?
Yeah.
And there isn't really an easy answer to that, because we had 4 paintings going on all at the same time. So while 2 were drying, he was working on one and I was working on another, and then when it needed to dry, we'd set it aside and grab another one. So there's no way to say, oh, you did this or you did that.
Right, yeah, it was pretty much just swapping back and forth.
Now the theming of like having one for each season was also found on a couple of other lands from that set. Like for example,
really?
Yeah, like the Urza's Saga or Mark Tadine with the Urza's lands, for example. He painted a winter, spring, summer, and fall version for the.
Well, I have I have a suggestion about why that might be,
Yeah.
Sure.
but it's a guess.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, we love the insider information.
It was on. It was. They said you can do 4 versions because it's on the card sheet 4 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure we're not the only people who went.
So
what
that's-
does the number 4 suggest?
Okay.
Yeah, really.
Okay. That's really cool because
I
like.
don't know. I'd have to ask Mark. I didn't know.
Well, you-
but-
The art director.
Yeah, we'll be sure to ask him while I'm here. Well, hey, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me again. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shake a man's hand.
No, I thought he was like